Good afternoon. It is sunny here in Portland. I am so happy that you could join us today. This is one of our results learning series. If this is your first time here, these are quick and short. They're to the point. We know that you're busy. Today, we're going to talk all about managing tools. So let's go ahead and get started. Let me move my cursor there. For those that don't know me, my name is Chris Barker. I am the results trainer for Mass Ingenuity. I am here for all your support needs. If you have any questions about our topic, whether it's on managing tools or something else that maybe you might want me to cover in a future topic, go ahead and send that to chat. In the chat, I have my teammate Aaron Howard watching the chat, and he'll interrupt me if if I can answer any of the questions on the fly. Aaron, would you like to say hello?
Indeed. Thank you, Chris. Good afternoon to everybody. And Chris, as always, thank you. Back to you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so today is about managing tools. And for some of you might want to understand, well, what's this all about? And what is the connection to enterprise performance management? Well, you all have measures, right? You have outcome measures, you have process measures. They're not just supposed to be sitting there lagging, right? You really want to work on the continuous improvement, right? If they're in red or yellow, moving them to green, or you want to raise the bar to a higher state of green. So we really created this tool section so that in one location, you can have everything you need related to continuous improvement. You also might want to create a standard approach to how you develop your measures. So as you expand the use of measures through your organizations, right, what sort of tools, measure spec sheets and related documents do you want your individual employees to use? We also have a really great project management module there, so you might have some standard project management tools. Again, it's one-stop shopping for all the templates you need, right? That single source of related documents. So let's go ahead and get started. The how-to of managing your tools. So out of the bat, it is an administrator function. So just to refresh, we have 3 levels of permissions. We have administrators, power users, and users. So the tool functions is really a combination between the administrator and your power users. The administrator has to set up the tool category, but we also know that you might only have 1 or 2 administrators in your organizations and you need some help, right? You have a lot that you're doing, so you can delegate the management of a specific tool category to anyone that is set at the power user permissions. Okay. A couple other best practices is that when you're thinking about what do I want in my tool section, it's a blank slate to start. It's yours to design, and we recommend that you really think through the structure, right? So just like you have your Google Drive or your personal drive at home, right? Think through the organization so it's easy to find the information for your users. So a little bit of upfront design times will really help. Also with that, think about your naming approach. So what are the naming conventions of how you want to organize your tools? Again, think of your users and really kind of what would make sense for them. I know sometimes I file things away and it's so frustrating when I can't remember where I put things. So really think through that ahead of time. Okay. A couple other things is that once you set up your tools, you can bookmark them. So you can basically favorite a specific tool folder. So on the sidebar, it shows for easy access for all your users. So your users can also favorite other tool categories that are unique to them. So as an administrator, I can say everyone needs to be able to easily find my process improvement tool category. Okay. My counterpart, Aaron, he might, he's in charge of our organizations. He's going to put all of his favorite tools related to getting ready for his board meetings. So that's favorite for him, but I don't really need that. So we can have some different choices there. And like I said, that favorite tool category shows up on the side menu. And I'm going to go into results and walk you through all that in a little bit. There's one specific tool that we recommend that all of our clients have, and that is an action plan. It's a great place to load that into your tool category. I'm going to walk you through, though, that with that specific tool, you can upload it and relate it to a measure. So you can go to your tool category, find that action plan, fill it out, and then upload it to that related measure. Okay. Why have an action plan? Well, this is all about supporting continuous improvement. Okay, so if you're a supervisor, manager, and you have your team having measures, how are you helping them move those measures from red and yellow into green? Do you have a standard approach of what you want them to, how you want them to approach continuous improvement? Okay, so again, I recommend that you think about what you want so that you can reinforce, right, that engagement of your teams in process improvement. Okay, and you want to have that transparency, right? Again, that you don't want to make red or yellow a negative thing. You want to create a conversation, and it all starts with that transparency. Okay, and it reinforces that culture of continuous improvement. So some best practices when you think about, well, what does an action plan look like? You know, when I think about that tool, what are some of the things that you would recommend to have on your action plan? Okay, the most important is that you want to define that performance gap. So kind of current state versus that desired state, right? So because in the end, how do you know, what does success look like? So bottom line, it obviously needs to have data. Okay, so if you're looking, you know, I have this problem and I'm going to work on this, and it's not rooted in your root cause in your data, your action plan is going to be weak. And it's like, you know, you go look and you pull up that rock, and they say, no, I didn't want that rock, I wanted a different rock. See, you don't want to get in that game. You want to be really clear on what is the gap and what does success look like in my action plan. Okay, so again, it's defining that corrective action using data. You also want, if other people have access and they're going to be looking at the action plan, they might want to understand who's working on it. So always list the owner or the team involved, and then also identify your expected implementation date. So I'm working on this continuous improvement. I'm doing that corrective action. I launched my solution. I want to track the date of that implementation because I need to know if my corrective action is making a difference. So when I do my root cause analysis, I might say, okay, I've established my root cause, I've developed my solutions, and sometimes our data, right, might be a little flawed in our analysis. Maybe there's a different root cause that's really causing that performance gap. So it's really important that you identify when that solution got implemented so you can track, is it making a difference? And then here is a sample that one of my clients is using of an action plan. Again, there's many different versions out there, but you can see here I've identified the measure owner, measure name, ranges, and target of the measure. Identified that performance gap in my problem statement, discuss the root cause, action taken, things of that nature. So I'm going to go ahead and move us over into results, and we're going to start from the beginning, and we are going to, let me pull up results, and I'm going to set us back to home. Okay, so you'll see that I'm logged in as a generic administrator. So the very first thing that I'm going to do is talk about how to set up a tool category. So like I said, it's an admin function. So you go down the right menu, the menu here, and you go to admin. You open up your admin menu and you go to manage tools. So when I do this, this is how the screen looks. And you'll see here in the top, it says select a category to begin. And then go ahead and expand my menu here, and you can see that I've already set up some sample tool categories. And when there's embedded parent-child layers in here, you're going to see the arrow, so I know I need to expand that. So I have some HR tools, okay? I have operations, strategy, docs, and templates. So you can see where earlier I talked about think through your tree structure and your naming. Okay, I made a choice point to basically kind of load my generic meeting things up on top, and then I organized it by division. And then I have things related to my strat plan, and then I have my various templates. So I'm going to go ahead and expand my template folder, and you can see here now I have some additional subfolders. I have things related to measure development, so probably like things like a spec sheet, for instance. Okay, and I can also expand my problem solving. And you can see here on my tree structure here, my organization, again, making it really easy to find for my users. For problem solving, I went ahead and I did my steps, and I have all my related tools and templates organized by my chosen 7-step problem solving. That's what Math Ingenuity teaches to our clients. So it's easy to find what I need. Now, if I want to add additional, so for instance, say I have additional department that has some tool categories that needs to be set up, I simply, there's a little reminder here, right-click a category to create. So to get started, I simply right-click, okay, and I have a choice point. I can create a sibling, so at the same layer, or I can create a child. So if I wanted to create a child, I go ahead, and click there, and it automatically comes here. You can see that the default, it says new node. So I simply just backspace here, and for instance, maybe I have something related to team coaching. I have some standard templates and tools related to team coaching. It's going to put it in alpha order, so it's down below. Now, I'm the administrator. I can edit any of these tool categories that I want. So if I click on step 1, you'll see here I have all those action plans that we're going to go through later. If I need help, maybe I have someone, an OD specialist, that's going to really manage this tool category. I'm going to go ahead and assign that. That person needs to have power user permission. So just by chance, I'm just calling that person my power user. I would just search for their name, and then I would hit save. So now when that person logs in, they can be in charge of uploading the designated tool categories that they want in this tool category. So as the admin, it's my responsibility to kind of define what's going to go in my sandbox here of tools. But then once I do that, my power user can manage it. And I'm going to log in as a power user and show you the screen of what they see. The other thing that I talked about is that you can make a tool category a favorite. And it's right here under category owner, you see make favorite for everyone. So when I do that, I click, I simply do checkbox and I hit save. Okay, and it was saved. Now I'm going to go back to home and I'm going to show you a couple things. Okay, so now when I go into my tool category here, now I'm going in as I want to go use some of my tools. I'm not creating and not uploading them. I'm just logging in as Chris Barker. I'm working on problem solving. So I'm going to go ahead and take a look at that. You'll notice here then in the very top it says my categories, and it defaults the view for things that I favorite. But if I want to look at all the categories, I can go ahead and take a look at them. So what you'll notice here is that the stars are all gray until I favorite something. Okay, so you can see the one that as the administrator I made a favorite for everyone, and when I hover over it, it says global favorite cannot remove. On the green ones, those are ones that I, as the Chris Barker said was important to me. So I can decide which ones, that I want. If I want, maybe I have something related to contracting up here. Now, when I go back, I'm going to go back to home and show you that all the favorites are here in this menu below. So I can very quickly, I can just one stop, click on there and go right to the tool category. So that's what the favorite does. Now, when I go back, if I wanted to look at all the categories, I have easy access, right? But this list, like you can see, this list is becoming rather long. And so it's nice to have that ability to kind of bookmark them and take a look. Now over here on the tool categories, if I wanted to then list, I'm going to go in and list and take a look at all of those action plans here. And you can see that I've done different versions. As a user, your user base would simply come to the tool category and do download. And it's just downloads over to the side here. And whether it be a Word document, Excel, PowerPoint, all of those are acceptables. The types of tools that you can upload. The only thing that you cannot upload would be images, because we do a virus screening on the file. So images are the only thing that is prohibited. So I can go ahead and open that, create my action plan, and off and running on using that. I'm going to go ahead and flip over to what the power user experiences. So now I'm logged in as a power user. Okay, you can see here I have my power user menu here. When I go ahead and expand that, okay, instead of managing tools, it just says tools. So when I click on the tools, go to that same menu that I saw earlier. Oh, it re-authenticated from being timed out. Let me go ahead and do that again. Okay, the screen looks the same. Okay, what's going to be different though is what I have access to. So I'm going to go ahead and expand that. And you can see here that I did not get the whole tree structure. I only have access to what I have been delegated responsibility for. So when I go to problem solving, you can see it's only showing step 1. Okay, because I only delegated step 1 and that team coaching to my favorite power user. Okay, so once I'm there, okay, I have the ability, these are grayed out. I don't have the ability as a power user to change the name of the tool category. That's the admin function. I can see my name. I do have the option to make it a favorite for everyone. And then I simply just have the ability now to add the files. So I simply, if I can say, I'll just add problem solving template. So you always put a description in, and you can drag and drop, or you can select. So I'm going to go ahead and do select and open up my drive here. A little slow there. So I'm going to go to my PC, I'm going to go to folder, and I'm going to go ahead and let's see, I will upload a new version of my action plan. It does a little scanning there, and I hit submit. Okay, now once I'm here, you'll see the options here, green, blue, and the red. So when I hit the green, this is an edit button. And what this is doing, it's just editing the description of this document. So this is just the description for you to edit. Okay, you're not editing the actual document, you're just editing the description that they will see as the user. You can actually download the document right here, or you can go ahead and just remove it. So I'm just going to go ahead and remove that one that I did not need. So let's talk about that action plan. So that's all about setting up your tool category, making things favorite, and also delegating it. Let's talk about, I'm going to go back over to admin, is that it is time. I am coming in, I'm logging in, and maybe my dog is barking in the background, so I'm so sorry. I'm going to go in and I'm going to work on an action plan. So I have going to go to the measures that I'm responsible for. When you upload an action plan to a measure, you have a little symbol in your the little threshold color or circle that you receive. So anytime you see the little asterisk, you know that an action plan has been completed and uploaded in the measure. So let's go ahead, and I own this measure, so I'm gonna show you what it looks like if maybe I have an updated action plan. And you do it under the view chart. So when you're in the chart view, you can also see that action plan. So as a user, everyone has the option to view the action plan. The only people that can remove or replace the action plan is someone that has an admin responsibility or they're the measure owner. Everyone else can only view the information. You can also see that when you upload an action plan, you can also actually put the implementation date. And what is really helpful there is that if I know that this action plan went into effect on 1/1/2021, then I can go ahead and look at my chart and I can kind of analyze, is it really making a difference? You put the action plan in there, it's been running for about 3 or 4 months. You would hope that you would see some improvement on your data. So it's just a quick way for you, your users to take a look. If I wanted to change the date on that action plan, I would simply come back to the replace. Okay, I can upload, perhaps really my action plan didn't get started until March 1st. I upload a new action plan. You know, I had to update it with the new date. So again, I will go ahead and find that new action plan, and I'm just simply uploading one. Drag and drop. Okay, and I have replaced it now. I can also remove it. Let me go ahead and flip over to the power user. Okay, so I was on that employee engagement measure. So let's take a look on what does someone else see that does not own that measure. So I'm going to go ahead and search for that measure. Here it is. I see the little symbol again. Okay, employee engagement. I'm logged in again as a power user. You know, I could be Chris, it could say Chris Barker, it could say user, but again, I don't have any relationship to this measure. I'm not the measure owner and I'm not the data steward. So what everyone else will see on the employee engagement when they go to the chart view, again, they only see that view action plan. So you need to either be the measure owner or have admin rights to actually change, replace, or remove that action plan. And then you can go ahead and take a look at it. But I, as a power user, I can log in, take a look at that action plan, open it up, and I'm off and running. Now, just as a little reminder, okay, so as a tool, so you'll see here that the power user on the tools, the only tool categories that are favorite are the ones that were favorite for all. So if I go back to my all tool categories, okay, I can take a look, and again, just to make a call out, they're going to show in red. Anything that I want to take a look at as a favorite would show in green as a power user. So everyone has a different view of what their favorite tool categories are. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and flip back to our deck and just do a little wrap up here. And if you want to have a little bit, a quick reminder of some of the videos that you can watch, we have two videos called Understanding Tools and Action Plans. So encourage you to look in Milo and search for those two videos and send in your questions. Aaron, any questions before we wrap for today?
Yes, I'm going to paraphrase the question. Would you take a moment to just clarify what users see and why some of this is, in fact, you know, really kind of behind the scenes from that point of view? If you just clarify that a little bit, I think that'd be helpful for several folks.
Yeah, sure. Let me go back. I'm going to go back to my power user. Okay. So if a user is logged in, okay, let me go through it. Let me slow down. Again, there's 3 permission levels. There is administrator, power user, and users. A user, or any of the permission levels, you can also have a role assigned to you. You can be a measure owner or you can be a data steward. Or as a user, you don't own any measures. You might be a manager and you're just in charge of a whole team, and it's really your teams that are your measure owner and your data steward. So what they would see when they come, the simplest way to look at it is on this side menu here. it stops at dashboards. They don't have any of the ability to do any editing related to groups, map, or tools. When they come in and take a look, so if I go over to, let's take a look at the sales. Okay, so for instance, they might come in and look at this pipeline sales. Okay, they only have the option, this is actually a bad one. Let me find one that is, give you an example of, let's take a look, process measures. I'm trying to find one that is a good example. Okay, so as a user, okay, they only see this screen. So those green buttons there, that would be edit values, edit measure. They don't have those options. When they come in as a user, they only see the view chart and that information. If this measure actually had an action plan, it would show a view action plan here. Now under tools, they see all the tool categories. They can only list and download the tool. They cannot edit the name of the tool categories. They can't change what files are in the tool categories. Okay, any other questions, Aaron?
No, Chris, that was it. Thank you.
Okay. Well, thanks for your time today. I hope you found it of value. We send the recording out in an email. We'll also have a few questions. Appreciate any feedback on additional topics. Any follow-up questions after this that you might wanna, that you think about, please go ahead and email. Appreciate your time today. Thank you.